welcome to the Macro Chat Live Show. AD is doing good this time, you guys. And we're actually, oh my gosh, AD, I didn't even get a view. I didn't even tell you what happened. Last time we had the show, I was having problems because I'm so used to you doing them. And OBS was not letting me share my screen. So I had to do this thing. Yeah, so I had 2 streams at the same time because I used this company called StreamYard.
Yep.
And so I used that company. So I was like, everyone, and Elise is here, Auda's here, Catherine's here, and some of the others were all here, and we all jumped onto the next show. And I actually left it on YouTube. So thank you so much, you guys, for coming.
So you were being your typical overachiever then, and just running 2. Janice was just showing she could run 2 streams at once rather than without me. I see how it is.
Oh my gosh. I was just like, they all know that I depend on you. So I was just like, come on over. And everybody did. It was great.
Awesome.
And Greg was there. And I'm like, there's 2 people left. And Greg's all, oops, I left it on my phone. So then he jammed over. It was so much fun.
Cool.
So hi, Art. Art is here. He's here. He's the fireman.
Sweet. We got a pyro
the
in the
match man.
Cool. A lot of fun.
Yes. And so any of you guys that are new that come and check out the show, definitely let us know where you're at, because we've got a lot of the people here that show up every other Thursday, which is awesome. AD and I do this feedback loop. That's what's happening right now, where you can submit images and me and AD will give you some feedback and actually give you homework. That's the loop. And that's what Art has done. So that's what I'm excited about. I'm really excited about chatting about his stuff. And then, so AD and I it's every other Thursday, this show that we have, the Macro Chat Live Show. And I'm going to tell you a super secret. So normally I have somebody every single month, at least one person. And I just didn't, the one that I was trying to get for July didn't work out. And August, I just haven't asked anybody. And it sounds really bad, but I know it really bad, AD. So it's just because I know. I feel bad. So you know what? It's just, you guys just start throwing in the images and we'll have another feedback loop. If AD wants to come on with me or if he's busy, I will try to have 2 at the same time again, 2 shows at the same time. But yeah, no, I've been working really, really hard. We're opening up the membership site for our membership, which we'll show that sponsored in a little bit. But I have just been working too hard. I got to get that all done, videos done. You know how it is behind the scenes, all that craziness.
Yep, we got lots of stuff to do. We got new lower thirds. We got show redesign stuff to do. It's never ending fun stuff.
Yes, for sure. So yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and do the sponsor and then we'll start rolling in with the show.
All right.
Ready to accomplish your macro photography goals? Our SJP membership will keep you on track, hold you accountable for your goals, and teach you new techniques. This program provides you the value of a college course with the fraction of the price.
For more information, head on to membership.sullivanjphotography.com. It's time to focus on your goals to get you to where you want to be.
So don't miss out.
Don't miss out.
That's right.
So what was I going to say? There was something pretty important. Now I lost it. That happens all the time. But we know that this is every other Thursday, and I want to make sure that you guys all have. Oh, I know what to say. I just wrote down in the chat, where are you guys from? Oh, Jan's here. Hi, Jan.
Hey, Jan.
And she says, I hope you're feeling better.
I am.
Oh,
I am
look
feeling
at how
better.
Cool.
Thank you.
I see that down below. Join every other Thursday.
Yes.
Thank you, AD. That is so awesome. Yeah. And so our next show will be August 6th at 1 p.m. So mark your calendar and submit your images. And the way you do that is you can go to sullivanjphotography.com, and on the top, you'll see Macro Chat. Just click on that and follow those. Oh, did you do that too? Oh my gosh, you're rocking it. You are rocking it. Woohoo! I'm so excited. Look at that. Look down below. AD's got this down. This is so cool. So that's what you do. You go to feedback submissions. And the reason why I really need you guys to fill out the form and then do your images at the same time, because the form pings me, not the Dropbox. The form pings me and says, hey, somebody's just put a submission in. I have my own little file in there, and then I get it all organized, first come, first serve, and then AD and I will have some fun and chat with you guys. Elise is from Ireland,
Hey.
Wichita, Kansas.
The homeland for
Charlie's
me.
here. Hi, Charlie. What'd you say?
I said Ireland, the homeland for me.
Yes, we're both Irish.
Yes.
We're O'Sullivan. Yes, Irish rocks. And then let's see, Florida, arts in Florida. And I know, Jan, you're from the East Coast. I remember that.
Wichita.
And
Charlie's from Wichita.
Wichita, Kansas. Yeah, and I have family in Kansas too. Kansas and Missouri. That's my mom's side.
Nice.
Yeah, very cool. Been there, enjoyed that. I Florida, never been. Gotta go.
What?
Yes, I've never been.
Oh
south,
my
that
goodness.
south.
We have family in Florida, so that's, yeah. And then, Lynn is from down in Florida, Waziki.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and she's from the Tampa area, so if we ever want to go down and shoot the beaches and birds and all that kind of stuff, Lynn is hooked up, so we could definitely make that a thing. Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
And you know who's down south is Catherine.
Oh,
She's
nice.
she's a Georgie. She's got the
Savannah.
the real pretty Savannah.
She told us about, maybe we should
Yes.
make that like a road trip thing. We all meet up, like a macro chat meetup.
Wouldn't that be fun? Oh my gosh, Catherine, are you ready?
Could
I'm
that
just
ever
kidding.
happen again? We don't know, but we'd like to think and dream about it. That's what we're gonna do.
Yes, we're going to think positive. The virus is going to be over, and we all can
right.
see each other again. And that would be really fun too, to actually have a macro chat meetup.
Yes.
Would you guys want to do that? See, Samira, Simon. Look at Catherine's. I always screw this.
Smyrna.
Smyrna.
Right?
I screwed it
Smyrna?
up.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
I guess.
Smyrna. Smyrna the drink.
Smyrna.
Isn't there a drink called Smyrna or something?
Smirnoff, but that's,
Oh,
that's what my glass is usually full every week of.
oh my gosh, you guys, it's so fun
My
to
iced
see.
vodka.
Yeah, my vodka too. Huh?
Right?
Where's Baz? Baz isn't here too.
Yes,
I want
probably
Baz.
sleeping.
I know.
Poor
No,
guy.
it's yeah. Okay, so what we're gonna do, this is the plan. ADR and I are gonna do a couple critiques, and then we're gonna take a little break. We're gonna do a couple fun things, and then we're gonna go back to the feedback loop section. So I wanted to let you know, AD, that I have this image that's coming up from Claudia.
Okay.
I had it last week, and she mentioned you, so I had to
Uh-oh.
wait. So I told Claudia, I said, I got to wait for AD to show up
Okay.
so we could do that. So I don't know if she's here today, but I will message her and I will let her know that her image is on the show.
Now I feel
So
like I'm on the
let's-
spot now. So
You are. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, let's go. Let's do the feedback. Oh, I was supposed to have it ready. Darn it. I screwed up, you
every
guys.
time I
You know what I was doing? I was dancing in the background.
see, I try to curb my mansplaining a lot, and I don't be like, Janice, are you ready for this? Because I'm like, no, I'm gonna leave it on Janice. So I
She's
don't
like,
do it.
He's like, you don't have the image up. Are you sure you're ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me read this really quick because it is awesome. And Claudia, I don't know if you know about Lorona. It's something out here in the West Coast because it's from Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is her image. And she said, the goal I was working on in this image was to tell a story in a poem. I created this image as part of Harold Davis's workbook assignment where we had to pick an image from another photographer and analyze it for its story. I was inspired by AD's work in the abandoned ward, one of his images was incredibly powerful to me because it made me feel a fear of the unknown while depicting a story of light and hope. With my image, I tried to show the emotions associated with the Mexican urban legend La Llorona, and she's called the Wailer. The skull is a Mexican clay whistle, so it's a little whistle that when blown is meant to sound like Llorona. I wanted to show the bright colors to represent culture in contrast to the dark background to represent fear of the urban legend. I also wanted to add water drop as a tear to show the the humanity of what the urban legend stands for. I'll tell you about that afterwards. In conclusion, I am trying to show fear, sadness, and beauty with this picture. It was shot at f4.2, and her shutter was 1/100th of a second, ISO 100, and her lens was 60 to 50 millimeter at 24 millimeters. So it's a close-up of this whistle.
Wow.
So I thought, we had to wait for you before we give her, we talk about the image. And, when they're black like this, AD, let me just do, I think it's compare. No, it's survey. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Push all those buttons. Push them all.
Yeah.
One of them will work, Janice.
Art's like, hey, that looks familiar. I want to get rid of that
While
one.
you're figuring that out, I'd just like to say, Claudia, thank you so much for the kind words. And I'm glad that I'm honored to be able to inspire someone else. And wow, I don't know what to say. Other than that, it's your image. And I agree. Elise says that the image totally encapsulates the legend. Very cool. And I totally agree with those words. I think this is a wonderful job in a gorgeous photo. And I would never have guessed that this was a tiny whistle. I would not have, that didn't even enter my mind on the shot. I was taking in the emotion of the image and the colors. Yeah. And you said, Janice, you said that you have something about that legend, right? That you were,
yes.
Yeah.
So the legend is when she was married to this, I believe, is very rich man, and she was very jealous of her children because the husband was, like totally loving the children. So what she did was she killed her kids in a river, and then this is a legend. She killed her kids, and then she killed herself. And so because she did such a horrible deed, she is now for life, basically in hell, searching for her children and crying for them. And she screams for them and tries to get them, tries to find them and screams. And so she's like basically in hell walking the earth. And people in Mexico, they hear her wailing, So it's Mexico has a lot of these things.
Yes, the folklore. I mean, this is one of the things I wish that we'd all get back to a little bit more is I love the stories behind like something like this to teach a moral kind of like, a lesson to, there's a little bit, I love that about the culture down there is that, the fear of the dead, the fear of these, of don't do this or else this, and then they show you an item like this that really like brings it all together, right? It's an actual physical thing to kind of tie it all together. I just absolutely, she nailed it. And I could not be prouder. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's awesome.
I think she did a wonderful job. I love that she put the drop. We can see it with the highlight.
Yep.
And another thing too is she has put in a little highlight of the eye here, so you haven't totally lost the vision. So, she's learning photography, but she is a videographer. So
Oh,
so she's a videographer, but she is learning more about still. And
hmm
so, yeah, this is
yeah.
great.
The
I
use
think
of
she
the
did
single
one.
light brings that drama. Brings the dramatic look. So if you
Mhm.
really want drama in a photo, a single light with a single direction can create that nice light dark contrasty kind of look that she has here. She's done that excellent. The capturing
Yes.
of the colors is I mean, that's
Yeah.
one of the things. If you go to Mexico, and I've done a lot of shoots for a lot of immigrants that have moved into our area that have restaurants, and I've done food shoots and cultural shoots for them, for their menus and for their
Mhm.
advertising and whatnot. And one of the things is just the beautiful bold colors, and we've fallen in love with it so much that we, our house is decorated. The front of our house, we have pots and things, and we specifically look for these bright colored pots that really represent that culture because we've fallen kind of in love with it. And this really just emanates that quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She did a
beautiful.
great job.
And the focus is
Awesome.
great. Everything,
Yeah.
yeah. Technically, it's
Yeah.
perfect and nice
Hmm.
composition. All of that.
Hmm.
Yeah, she's definitely paying
Yeah.
attention.
Yep. She did a great job. Woohoo, Claudia. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do something a little different. We're going to talk about art. He's here. I'm going to
Oh,
show this. Yes, I'm going to show this first, and then we can look at his fun. So what happened last week, 2 weeks ago, AD, is that we saw these images, and we were working on these images,
hmm
and I said, it'd be really good for you to do a portfolio. And another thing too is Art has he sent me some information, and I wanted to talk about it's basically his CV. So his artist statement CV, he's been photographing for a long time. And this is
okay.
what I love. I wanted to mention this to everyone. We are all he's been doing this for years and years. He went to school for photography. He's doing, getting into the macro scene.
hmm
And the thing that I wanted to say is when I went over through all of the things that he does, and he's just going out there, and I hope that, and actually AD is going to talk a little, you know what, AD, I didn't even realize it. What you and I were discussing before the show is going
Right.
to be perfect for this statement because he is still going out there. We're going to talk about AD and what he did in our break, but I just really love how he's given me his background, and yet he's still like rocking it, like I
Yeah.
want to do new things. I want to do this. So I had asked him, I said, it would be really cool to see like a portfolio. So he did
Sure.
this whole thing, and I just want to share it because this is a feedback loop. So we're looking at what we saw before. I'm going to show you guys again. Remember, if you were not at the show last week, 2 weeks ago, go back and watch the show. It was really cool, even though Janice had two of them going. But you'll see it in the channel. But these are the images we were all talking about. And I said, I just really love it. And it would be so much fun to see a portfolio or the life. So basically what this is the life of the match, the life and death of the match, I think you're calling this.
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, I think he says working on a series of the life and the light. I forget what you call it. Art, tell us down in the chat, but I'm pretty sure it's the life of a match.
The life cycle of a match. He did
Yes,
put it
the
in chat.
life.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
hmm
So it's not going to be in cycle, but I thought, I love how he's done the life cycle. He's put it all together. But of course, Janice and all of us love to see things up close. So, we got to see it up close, right? Look at how cool is this? So we're going to see each individual, and I'll try to, it's not going to be perfect because I don't have it perfect, but look at how cool this is. It's so neat to see how the flames burst, and you did a great job. I love to photograph matches. See, like this in here, you could see how detailed it is.
Beautiful.
And we'll
Yeah,
just
look at the
go.
streaks of light coming out, like from the sulfur that's bursting.
Yeah.
Like if you zoom
Oh,
in on the top of the flame, you can see the little individual embers like
yeah, look at
flying out.
that.
Isn't that cool?
That is so cool. I
Very
love
well
that.
captured, Art. Nice work.
Yes, very nice. Let's see. We'll go to this one. I
And
don't
very
know.
difficult, by the way. I want to add to get all the reds and the yellows and the oranges to not end up being very, gradient kind of look to them. This is a nice, it's very well exposed. Yeah, you can see it right there too. The little sulfur pieces are flying out at light speed.
Look at how pretty. Yeah, it's gorgeous. This is a beautiful set. And I love how detailed the match is too. He
Nailed
did
it.
a great
Yep.
job.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's go from here. This one's cool. Look at how fun that one is. It's just the way it shot, and
Yeah, the outward bursts, just very cool.
Yeah.
The chemical reaction. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. He did such a great job. It's too much fun. You can see a little of the smoke.
See, now, Art, what you got to do is find like all these different styles of matches and find out if they all react differently. Like,
I know,
right?
huh? Wouldn't that be fun?
Get super in close. I mean, even closer, than that, and see if they have these weird things going on. It's very cool. Really
wow! Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow! I just love it. That's 1-to-1.
Excellent.
And I love the way this flows right here. It's a beautiful. This one.
Elise says he makes it look easy. It's an incredibly difficult thing to do, and she's absolutely right again.
Yes.
Yeah, he has made it look effortless.
And I love how you lit. So this, in order to get the smoke.
Yep.
I know this because I love to play with matches too. He lit this so you could see the smoke. Otherwise, you wouldn't have seen that.
Right.
So he did a wonderful job. And I love the details here of the burnt match. Look at that.
That's great.
This is a mackerel love dream come true.
Right.
Cool stuff. Very, very amazing. So it was really, again, Art, thank you so much for sharing your loop with us. I mean, this is what we love, is when you guys come to the
I love the flow of the smoke, by the way, off how it's just doing the perfect S curve there. Very nice.
Okay, so I'm going to do these real quick so everybody could see them again, because they're not in sync, but I just want you guys to all see them because they're just amazing. And look at that one too. I don't think I showed that one. That one's really cool. I did show this one. And there's the smoke too.
Yeah, I think that's probably my favorite right there. I just like the way that
Yeah, okay, that's the older ones. I personally really love these. I just love these. They're just, with the smoke and everything.
Very
so,
cool.
Let's go back to us.
Congrats, Art, by the way. That's excellent work.
Congratulations. And that's the thing, too, that I was so excited because I would love for you guys to say, hey, I got this from your show, and this is when we were doing feedback. Share it with me, and I would love to, share it with me. AD and I put it on here so you guys can see that's the whole thing of the show too, of the feedback loop, is we're hoping to inspire you to just go for it, and Art did. So high five, cyber high five. What we were talking about last time, I'm going to share something really quick, and then actually I'm wondering if we should share your thing first. Let's share I think we should share, because what I was talking about was how Art, has been doing photographing for a long time, and now he's still out there doing things. Mm-hmm. And you have a great story, but I want to share. I really like what you say about picking up the.
What was that?
That was my light.
Oh,
remember,
boy.
my light was really bright? Well, I guess I didn't put it on the stand properly. But it's okay, because what I want to do is I want to share your comment and tell them, unless you want me to share this one first, they can't see it. So you want me to share this one and then go to these?
You can share probably the far away one first or something. I don't know how you.
Okay, let's do that. Let's go here and share the screen. And what you tell them what you were telling me before the show. And then
while you fix your light, this is not a great story. This is just a story of a photographer who's in a slump, and that's me. I have not. If you look at my catalog, The first year that I started shooting, I shot 250,000 some odd photos, and then it goes down and smaller and smaller. And you'd think, well, maybe you're just not shooting as much, but you're getting more quality photos. And it really wasn't that. It just was, I wasn't shooting as much. We weren't traveling as much. And of course, we didn't travel at all in 2020. We traveled only once in 2019, and when we bought our house in 2018, so that kind of put a kibosh on everything. So I've been slowly moving away from photography, and it's really bothered me because I love it, and I don't know why, but I just haven't felt inspired. And I read this story about this comet Neowise that was coming over our area, and it was only going to happen once, and they thought it was going to burn up on the sun, but it didn't, and it made it through, and you should be able to see it and all this kind of stuff. Well, every night we had cloudy skies. I went out and I looked, and we couldn't see any skies, no stars or anything, and I had no thoughts of taking a photo of it, not at all. But the more I went out and looked for it, the more it came into my head, and my wife said to me, you should photograph it. Like, you haven't used your cameras in a while, and honestly, I hadn't. And so the night came here 3 nights ago, I think it was, where we had a patch of clear sky, and I went outside and I couldn't see this thing. I was really disappointed. I had my camera, I did all everything ready to go, but I couldn't see it. And I was out there for about 30 minutes, and then suddenly I could see this faint line in the sky, and it was my eyes adjusting finally to it. And I was telling Janice that essentially for me, I forced myself to do it because I hadn't touched this is my first photo of 2020. This is it. I just took it, my first photo. And it feels like I'm back. I feel like I'm back. I took this with a vintage lens on a Sony A7R II, a Canon. I used a Canon 200 millimeter lens to take this photo. And I think it was just basically 10 second at ISO 800 or something like that. But it was very challenging to get the photo because the comet does not appear to you immediately. You have to stare at a long point in time. It was very difficult to get focus in the dark because normally I would focus during the day and lock my focus there and just go out at night and point it where I needed to and take the shot. But I wanted to take a few different shots of this. I wanted one to show, my neighborhood, and then I wanted one to show the, close up of the actual comet. And I just wanted to share that with everybody because I know everybody gets into a slump once in a while. And if you get a moment where something interests you and you can take your camera, don't say no. Don't, because it might turn around that slump for you. So take those opportunities when you get a chance to capture. Now, this comet will never be by the Earth for 6,885 years or some ridiculous amount like that. So this was a once in a lifetime chance for me to capture something that I've never seen a comet with my own eyes. I've seen meteorites. I've seen, spaceships go over. I've seen all that stuff. I've captured planets, all that kind of things, but I never captured a comet. And it was just something magical about it to be able to actually capture it and over my own neighborhood, right? So.
Yeah. Come back to us real quick and then we'll go into mine. So the reason why I really wanted, I know this isn't macro, but it doesn't matter because when it comes to photography, we all go through these slumps. And, AD is, if you've ever seen his abandoned stuff, it's absolutely amazing. I'm sure you're really drawn to that, but we all like to photograph. I mean, most of us like to photograph everything, except for I don't like to photograph people. Done it, been there, no more. Right? I mean, that's just my gig. But I feel it's really strong and something that we should bring up at the show. Look, he did it. And if you guys ever feel like, oh, I haven't done anything, everything's turned out like crap, just pick up the camera and shoot whatever. Something that's excites you. It excited him to and plus, you get out there and you do it and then you get that feel again of, oh, this is good.
Yeah, I was just out there by myself and, kind of alone with my thoughts and kind of thing. And I do want to just say in my defense, that was as close as I could get to that comet. If I could get closer, if I could have got a macro shot of that comet, I would have gotten one, but I could,
That's
darn
hilarious.
it, I couldn't get any closer. So
Darn. Okay, so I want to now, what we'll do is I want to share something really quick with you guys. We were talking about this in the last 2 weeks ago about, or AD, was it with you? I think it was with you, about Freebie stuff, about Freebie software.
Yes.
So go ahead and show my screen real quick. I'm actually in Photos. So if you guys don't know that, let me see. Hold on one second. Why isn't it showing it over here? Let's see. Oh, it's showing on the other one. Darn it. I wanted you guys to see it, but my apps are not showing it on this one. So, okay, well, I'll share with you. It's Photos for Mac. And so, remember, Elise, we were talking about this. So I just wanted to share that they've really improved. So this is my grandson made this. It's actually not real ice cream. It's Play-Doh. Or was it my granddaughter? One of them. But anyways, so I just wanted to share that you can import.
yeah, let me share that with them. There you go.
Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, so what we're going to do, so this right here, you can import your images from your DSLR, your mirrorless, or whatever. You can do imports. This is not just for, this of course was my iPhone, but you can do imports, which is really cool. And so I would just want to share with you guys real quick that this is, I was really shocked on how awesome they've made things in a freebie for, Macintosh. And so here's all your retouch stuff. You can you could change up your light here. You could desaturate, it's like, wow, okay. So, here's different blacks and whites. See how they just change things around? Look at that compared to that. I mean, to me, it's like a fun, different way to play with your images. You also have filters in here. So if you wanted to, I mean, I'm just messing with this right now. I have no idea, but see how there's different filters. And say if I just don't like anything and I want to start, I can go back to the original, which was to the left. But you have white balance. You can make it warm or cooler.
Nice.
Same with the curves. I had no idea. You could even play with these little,
All right. So this is just native to Mac?
Yep.
Okay. So this is just in the new Photos. Yep.
Yep. You got your RGB.
Well, I'll offer up a one step beyond that. I think it's crushing your current output because your microphone's going away. I'm losing you, Janice.
You can doing everything, but yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can now. Every time you move a slider, though, it crushes your.
Okay, I'll try not to talk. I'll just share.
It crushes your output.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay.
I got too much going on.
Yeah. I just was going to say, and that's great. It's built in. One of the things that I also can offer up is we talked about this on the last show, and I just mentioned it really quick, and I said that I would provide something for everybody else, but a program called Darktable, which is completely free and basically is Lightroom, but it's Darktable, and it's open source. It's available for just about every single platform out there, including all forms of Linux and for the Mac and for Windows. And it is completely free. And basically, if you don't want to pay Adobe for Lightroom or you don't want to, do Photoshop, Darktable will do all of that. And it's pretty amazing. So you have a built-in one if you just want to.
You could go back to us if you want, unless you want me to share something here.
No. I'm going to share a link for Darktable if people want to check it out. But I've made the switch. So you did a perfect segue. We didn't even talk about this before the show. But I have made the switch. I am off Adobe finally. So
you did.
Yes, I have forced myself to. I am now using GIMP, which is the new image. Yeah, they've made a lot of advances in it. It is different, but it does have the features in it. I still use Luminar for certain things. But that's, again, I'm an affiliate, so I've never had to pay for that. But and now I'm going to start using Darktable, which is supposedly, from everybody that I've heard from, is basically the bee's knees when it comes to Lightroom killers. So if you want, I can post down in the chat. Let me take it real quick here. I'm going to post a link if you guys want to check it out. It's totally free. You can download it for nothing, and check out its features. The web page that'll send you to, you can see all the different features of Darktable. And they are an organization. They are not a company, so they are open source, and their software will remain free. And I know,
like OBS, huh? OBS
like
is free.
OBS, exactly. And so they have funding, right, that from people who want to support them, and it just makes I used to think that freeware and shareware were disabled kind of programs, right? That's why I went the Adobe route, because I'm like, I'm going to get everything. I'm going to get all the bells and whistles, right? And what do I find out? I don't use like 90% of it, but I pay 100% of it. So now I'm using, like, for video, I'm using DaVinci, which is from Blackmagic, and that's totally a pro suite of tools. I've got a couple of things through Humble Bundle, which is a company that I buy software through, and I got a couple of plug-in things for DaVinci, which give me some more, features that I would need. And now I'm using motion. I did buy motion graphics for the Mac, for my Mac, and I'm doing all of my stuff that I normally would do in After Effects, I'm doing on my Mac. So for $49, I bought that program, and everything else is free. So
that's cool. For
one monthly payment of my Adobe suite, I have basically cut the cord with them. So, and I'm no longer.
Wow. So can I ask you this?
Sure.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
How do you do layers and masks? Do you have layers and masks in any of those?
Yeah, GIMP does all of that, and so does
GIMP.
And Luminar does as well. So,
yes, Luminar does.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
But GIMP is just like Photoshop. I mean, when you look at it, you're like, well, there's the same colors, same, how do they get away with this? But but there's a lot of stuff that Adobe uses that, they pulled from open source when they were first building it as well. So there's a lot of things that Adobe just can't, like a cropping tool, they can't say, well, that's trademarked, you can't have a cropping tool.
Seriously. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So
Elise is thanking you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, definitely check it out. I mean, don't switch. I tell everybody, don't make the switch over to yet. Yeah, I tried it out for like 2 months.
Oh, did you?
And I didn't like it. When I first did, I said, man, this isn't going to work. This sucks. But what I did was I took both the Lightroom and the Photoshop icons off my desk, and I left the GIMP and the Darktable ones up there. So I was like, I had to go hunting for the other two, and I'm like, that will stop me, because I don't want to go looking for the other two. And so while it took me a little bit more time to get some of the work done, because I was learning the conversion, like all of the features are there, you just got to convert it right to, it's like learning a new language, but not really that hard. And so in over a course of 2 months, I was able to finally say, you know what, I can get everything I need to get done with these tools, and
very cool.
I can make the switch. I'm sorry, Adobe, but you charge too much money. So
yes, well,
I can't afford it.
Specs says 64-bit Darktable for me. He says so. He must use that too, or he knows about it.
Yes.
So
good stuff.
Yeah. I did put a link to when you and I had the last feedback loop. You mentioned it, and I did put a link. But I think what we should do for this show, after it's done, send me all the links, and I'll put it all down below so everybody can check it out, come back to it, and just play.
Absolutely. But, and all of the stuff that I think GIMP and Darktable both are for Mac and for Windows both. Now they list that it's for OS X, so I don't know if I have not installed Darktable on whatever we're on now. Kilimanjaro or
Catalina.
Catalina, wherever we are. I don't know what planet we're on. I don't know what planet we're on now. They come up with these crazy names, but it does work on Windows 10. And I'm kind of like the Mac. I use the Mac, but I don't live in that ecosphere. I live in the PC ecosphere.
Yeah, you're a PC person and I'm a Mac person. Give me a PC and I'm like, what the heck? Right. Where do I go?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
gotcha.
Cool.
Okay, let's go. We're gonna rock on. We're gonna do Ada. You're next.
Ooh.
Are you ready, Ada? So he's given me some really good images. So let's go. We're gonna do 3 of Ada's today.
Oh, nice.
This is your first one, Ada. And I actually have some ones that I want to share next feedback loop from Ada because I just love some of his plexiglass stuff, but we will talk about that another time. So so I asked Ada, what do you get out of macro? And he says that what he does is he tries to show macro. He loves to show people macro photography basically of what they can't see.
Yes.
Or as they're going by, they just pass it by. So for people so he wants to show what normally we just pass by, we don't pay attention. So that's what his goal is when it comes to his macro.
Nice.
So when he's shooting, that's what he's thinking about.
Yeah, the unseen world, right?
The unseen world. Very good. Yes, perfect. That's exactly what he's saying. You said it much better than me, AD.
I don't know about that.
So this one right here, he says he took this after the rain. He really liked the thing that really attracted him on this one was the shiny droplets that he was going for. And he made a snoot from A4 paper that he put on his camera flash, which is really, really smart.
Yes.
Because, the camera flashes are way too wide. So this way he can really hone in on the light. Now, let me see if I can do this again. Okay.
Being resourceful and being willing to take a chance on trying things like that will only ultimately result in success. So always, first time I put a piece of plastic bubble wrap over a flash to diffuse it, and make it into a softer, whiter light, I was astounded that bubble wrap could make that look so amazing, right? But if I wouldn't have tried it, I wouldn't have, probably believed it or discovered it. So
I love handmade tools, especially for us macro photographers. If I was a designer, I would really design this because then we can be millionaires because there's not very many things for photographers, to really hone in. They're starting to respect us, right, everyone? So this is what he's talking about here. I have some advice, but you go ahead if there's something that you would like to say, AD.
It's a beautiful photo. Technically, definitely I love the focal point of it. I question the composition in the half negative space and half of the subject matter. I probably would want to see a little bit more of the rose since he's kind of working off the golden spiral. Roses are great for that. And maybe brought the rose a little bit more to the right and gave us a little less negative space there. It's almost too balanced for me. And when you have something like an equal amount of negative space and an equal amount of subject, you tend to flip-flop. Even though it's negative space, your eye tends to not be drawn to the point that you wanted to. And I really think that large drop there is kind of really right. Isn't that like that's what I keep going to, but I want to stay there and kind of just take that in and be it's when you ever hear somebody say that they're moved by a photo, that's kind of like how I explain it. Like if I look at something and I kind of feel the whole world like coming slowly moving inwards on that photo, I feel like I'm being drawn into that spot. And when what I've learned from critiquing photos and seeing hundreds of thousands of photos is essentially I can sense that feeling now when I'm looking at an image. So then I start reverse engineering why I'm either not or I am being drawn in. And I always tell people, if you're wondering like whether or not it works, do multiple copies of the same image and crop it different ways. And look at them over a set of days. Don't just look at them all side by side and be like, oh, I'm going to make a choice. Don't rush your art. Take it over a few days. Look at one photo for one day, then go to the next day, look at that the next version of it, and then look at the next version of it. And you'll be able to tell which one of those photos that you go back to and take a second look at. That almost every time will tell you exactly the one that has the stronger composition for you. That's, you know, and that's an extreme way to have to do it. And sometimes it's very obvious to you and you don't have to go that route, obviously. But I think that, you know, with this, I would like to just see less negative space, even though I get what he's doing with it.
Yeah, I do too. But
maybe even more negative space. I would
if you're
experiment.
go negative. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
but it's because it's right in the middle. I flip flop, right? It's like, here, there.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because, well, I actually do like the crop that you had mentioned, and there's two reasons for it for me, and I agree totally with what you're saying on, you know, it's either go way out and be totally negative, but I would hope that he wouldn't. And the reason why is because he was excited about the drops.
Right.
So that's what we want to see.
Yeah,
but
the light is gorgeous on them too.
And the light is so beautiful. He's done such a beautiful job. And another thing that I love too is if he went too wide, or if he even this wide, right here. Okay, so my eyes went here and then right here because his light is so pretty. But as we get closer, you could see all the details of the rose, and it's just gorgeous in your face. I always like to say, whatever floats your boat, put it in our face.
Right. And I don't often go for a square crop either, but I think in this case, this one, it works really extremely well in the Instagram crop, as I like to call it. So
yeah, and I think it's too because of his lighting.
Oh, absolutely.
To tell you the truth, it's his lighting. I believe this is the one that I want to do. Let me see what's next. Okay, yes, this one's it. Okay, so this is the one where he says, I've never seen a tiny fruit fly and love the golden color that it has. He did it with his snoot with the A4 paper that he built off his flash. So he's done really well with that snoot, that homemade snoot.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, look at how, I mean, it's adorable. Let me get out of this. I love looking at bugs so close. Let's see. Look at this.
Closer.
Look at that.
Closer. Right. So essentially, what Janice is saying is closer because that's what macro makes us want to do. We want to get as close as we possibly can because you know why? We can't normally do that ourselves. It feels like a superpower to us, right? So when we look at a macro photo, we feel like we're super powered. And so getting close is really important. I think this definitely, only critique that I would have here is closer. I think the most impressive photos that I see are the ones that are, you know, that uber clear, uber close.
Yeah, and I agree with you too. And you know, I understand too what he was doing with the crop, you know, like he was vignetting so our eyes get there.
Yep.
And so and you know what, and sometimes
but he
I don't
answered
even
his question, right, himself. I vignetted it to make you look at, right? Don't do that. Just get closer. But you can still vignette it if you want to. I mean, just think of it this way. You're vignetting, you're adding something to the photo that is moving the person in. Why are you doing it? Because you want to be closer. So go closer and then vignette it even again, and it'll draw them in even more. I mean, you're just amping that power up times 10 at that point.
I think so too. Yeah. And you know what else too, AD, is that normally photo. I don't like a middle, but I like the middle here. You know, sometimes the middle, your subject in the middle doesn't work, but I think it works here because look at the lines pulling me.
Right. And plus it has
pulling me.
To me, it has a story. And the story is I'm a little teeny weeny fly surrounded by a very big world. And so can you, and it kind of makes you think like, can you imagine like we if anybody is ever afraid of anything in the world, just imagine if you were a teeny little fly like that, what you'd have to be afraid of. So it makes the whole world a whole lot less scary, I think. But yeah, I agree with the crop. I think it tells the story nicely. And technically the photo's gorgeous. So absolutely.
Yes.
Get
very,
closer,
very
my man.
nice.
Closer.
Yes. And then we have one more, and then we'll have Catherine.
My gosh.
So
I just have to say, though, I know you're just only going to show one more photo, but holy cow, dude. The photos you submitted are amazing. So I just want to say that I see all the photos that you submitted, and I just want to say that, yeah, when I see them, it makes me want to see more of your work. So good job.
Yes.
Good job.
Yes.
All right.
He does. He is. He's really good. And then this one was so fun that I had to share that one.
Yes.
And
like
he says, and I love what he says. He goes, I was hungry. So I made a kebab for myself. This is what's so cool. So think about it. So he's hungry. He's making a kebab. He goes, I was slicing a pepper, and look at his mind's going. And he says, and then it occurred to me that that it would have a very it's very small, right. And that he wanted to take a picture of it. How cool is that? So he says that it was really hard because it lost water and the texture, but it's just so cool.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, when I first saw this, I was like, this isn't a piece of pepper. I thought it was a geode or a crystallized rock.
Oh yeah, it does look like a rock, huh?
It is amazing. And yes. And he uploaded it in full resolution, so I can zoom in on Dropbox and see the detail and the edging of this. Yeah. Excellent job.
Oh yeah, let's do that for everyone.
This is something that needs to be printed and sold. This is awesome.
Isn't this great?
And don't tell anybody what it is, because it doesn't matter. It's because it's that cool looking.
Oh my gosh, I just love it. Let it sit in.
The detail is just really amazing.
So, you know what? The only thing that I could say to Otto is, I want you. Okay, I got a homework assignment for him. No, not right. Compare.
Okay.
We got to do. Oh gosh, come on, Janice, go back to the loop. And hold on one second. I have his other one. Let me do this one quick because I don't want to compare it. I just want. Let me get off of this. Hold on one second. I'm going to go back to his other one, and I want to get rid of that one. I don't want to compare it. I want you just to see the outline. Oh. Okay.
Need to change your border from black to like 50% gray.
So, well, no, what I want you to do. So, okay, I don't know why this guy's coming in. So this is what I feel. This is what his homework is. I want him to start playing with composition, because I feel the same thing that we've been talking about, all three images. So let's get closer. And I'm going to try something different. Hold on one second real quick. We're going to go back to this, and we're going to go back here to this. And now I can do it. Okay, because it was like, for some reason, it was not happy with me. Okay, so here is Otto's image, right?
Yep.
And we have all the black space. Mm-hmm. And I, like you were saying, he did such a great job. It's so nice and sharp. I feel like it should be cropped and in my face. You know what I mean? Like having a little bit less of the black. I personally love, so I would like him to really start looking at his compositions and saying, just playing with a bunch of compositions. So it would be nice if Otto shot and then shared a whole bunch of compositions in the Facebook group. And then what he could do is he can pick his favorite. And then Otto, if you do this, let us know why you picked that composition. Because maybe, this is what's hard. There may be reasons for the amount of space, because in an artist statement, he could be talking about the black space. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about individual images right now. Yeah. But his artist statement may be something to do with the black and the small. So, I don't know what it is.
I think the homework is essentially like try, and this is a hard thing to do with your own work, but relatively rating the power of a photograph. Does it move you? Do you keep wanting to look at it? Do you keep looking back at it? that will become clearer to you the more you photograph and the more you work with cropping and changing your composition. And I think that, yes, that would be my homework suggestion as well. Is I would try, like, even an image like this could be cropped 20 different ways.
Yes.
And I think that you would see that there would be more power to it. And so taking the shot one way, and he's got several shots that are actually the same exact composition. And if I had one piece of critique, would be I would like to see different compositions using the same materials that he was using. So the black acrylic or the mirror or whatever you were using on the bottom, and the backlighting, all of that is excellent, beautiful work. But I want to see like some different compositions to that, and then a theme built around that. That's kind of like, now you're talking portfolio, saleable, like, you know, sets of works. But at this point, it's the same photo with a different subject put in it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think that now we need to see the photographer's storytelling a little bit by using composition and using different crops to get it. And this is another image where it's gorgeous. I love the light. I love the reflection. Can you do something with the reflection maybe and get closer? And maybe there's some things that you can, you know, do with that. I don't know. But that takes experimenting, right? You have the tools, you have the setup, so you've got to experiment and push yourself that little bit much more, and then that's what's going to set you apart from everyone else. Yeah,
because his work is gorgeous. There's nothing, you know, your work is there. There's no two ways about that. You know, let's go to Catherine because I'm looking at the clock.
Okay, yes, we're running short.
Oh, yeah, let's go to Catherine. Let's go. Oh, look at how pretty her stuff is. Oh, let me move it over. Okay, so Catherine. So anyways, Otto, you did a wonderful job.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for submitting. And so let's go to Catherine. Here's her beautiful image. She's been submitting them. So thank you so much, Catherine, pushing her limits herself. She has an ISO 400, 1/40th of a second. She used a Lens Baby Velvet 56 at f4. I like the flower bud with the mature flowers behind it. So she said, when I edited the photo, I used a diamond gradient, which seems to emphasize the flower in the background. So I used a selective color layer so the background would not overpower the bud. Sometimes it seems I take a roundabout way to get to the final edit, and I'm not sure this is the final edit. I would appreciate your comments. So yeah, I just feel it's beautiful, but I'll let you go because I do have some things. Of course, I
think it's impressionistic, and so it's a very artified. A lot of times we like to do that with our. We like to like noise up and kind of add that painterly look to our images, and that's fine.
She does that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if it fits your narrative or what you're going for your portfolio, then I think it's right on the money. I usually like to separate my background and foreground a little bit with clarity on my subject, and then go for I love the look of the background here. I'm not overly sold on the actual flower itself. I like the softness of it, but I think it, to me, is a little too soft. Now that's just my personal, again, just for me. As far as a portfolio goes, if she's doing a set of images like this or feels like she wants to do that, then go with it, because that's your art. And if that's what you're going for, then you're right on the money, I think, for that kind of look. I'd be very careful shooting with the Velvius 56, a lens that I own and I'm very familiar with, at f4. And I know it gives a lot of light, but man, it is not sharp anywhere at f4. That lens really shines at around 5, 6, and 8. That's where it really, I think, is like its butter zone for like just enough softness and just enough sharpness to kind of make that lens like really usable. And if you go above that, I don't really It doesn't really work all that great for me. But you know, if you're going consistently with F4 and you want this like soft, super soft look to it, then great. Because I've shot a couple with F4 and I come out of it and went, you know what, I actually do kind of like this image soft. But keep in mind, a lot of times you got to be shy of contrast and softness at the same time, because what it will do is make your image look blotchy, and it'll also make people feel like they can't see clearly, because contrast is associated with clearness. And in fact, when you're adjusting sharpness, it's actually a contrast adjustment in a micro level that the program's doing. It's not sharpening anything. It's actually changing micro contrast. So just keep that in mind. Like, if I would probably soften this image just a tad bit more.
Yes.
Like
that's
as far
what,
as the
that
colors
was my
go.
suggestion.
As far as the colors go.
So only,
that's it.
okay, that's, oh, sorry. You just hit it what
Yeah.
I was going to say. So
Okay,
I was
go
like,
ahead.
I really want to
Sorry.
go there.
It takes me a roundabout way, by the way, to get Catherine. Sometimes for my critiques, I got to go the long way too. And it's just the way it is.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's good information. That's why I have so much fun. So yeah, I wanted to say that's exactly what I think that she would be happy with. So I actually love this flower, and I love how it's lit up at the top. So it feels godly, like the rays is on it. I think, Catherine, you'll be happier. There's two things that I think, just like AD was saying, if you soften this area here, if you soften this, I think you will be happier, because it's a little like he was saying with the contrast. Just soften this up, not the whole thing, just this up, and it will flow nicely. The other thing I wanted to mention is, see how you have in here, Janice is nitpicking because I know Catherine. And so what I would do is bring this color here, or the stem, one of it. So what's happening is you have the dark, you have a light halo type feel, and then you have the stem. So I see, and it doesn't happen all the way, but it really brings it out when it comes to the dark areas. I would blend that just a little bit. Guaranteed you will be happier with this image for sure. I just think it's pretty. I probably would even, okay, we're going to go even farther, Catherine. So see this peachy color right here? Just bring a little bit more over here. I'm telling you, because it feels like they can't see me right now, but it's like lifting up, and it's just beautiful. So, and what I like about it is that she has the green. It feels like it's lifting up and going to heaven.
Yeah, and
it's just, she just needs to soften this area, right? I feel she would.
And when you're
happier.
going for like that painterly look, don't be afraid to use adjustment brushes and paint in what you want in your image.
Yeah, she does it.
Yeah.
She does.
Yep.
So that's why I know she could do it, because she goes for it. She actually is taking this class. You can go back to us. So she's taking this class that I really would love to have her share. She's a member in the membership program and her and Debbie are taking these painterly classes, and I'm like, oh, show me what you're doing. I don't want to take the class. I want you to teach me.
Right.
Otis says so what he was talking about was little things shine in the black space. Want to show the beauty in a black world that people have.
Very good.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
I see. Got it. She says, thanks. You two always give such good advice. Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you.
That's sweet.
We're really trying hard. we really try hard.
Well, I think we do have, I really do think this is a lot of fun. I'm very artsy, and AD is very technical. So you get the both of best worlds here on this show. So yes, it's over. It's an hour, and we got through all the images. I didn't want to miss Catherine. So yay. And I really want to just go ahead and remind you that AD and I will be here. What is it? August? I wrote it in my show notes. August 6th.
Yes.
Yes, at 1 o'clock. And then let's see. If you guys are new, subscribe to the channel. And if you like the show, give it a thumbs up. Oh, you guys have.
Yes,
Look
8
at all the
likes. Look at
thumbs
that. They're
up.
going nuts out there. Yeah,
I
definitely.
saw 9. Thank you oops, I probably just hurt their ears. Thank you so much. That is awesome. And we are so happy to have you guys here. It's been a blast. Anything you want to say, AD, before I tell them my last spiel?
I don't know. I'm not on Instagram. I don't do Instagram or Facebook, my friend. I am on Twitter. You can find my stuff there. I'm also on Flickr. I'm still old school Flickr dude. But really, just explorographer.com is my website. theexplorographer.com, or you can just look up AD Wheeler if you want on Google. That usually directs most people there. But no, I'm not on Instagram, my friend. I'm sorry about that. Other than
it's
that,
okay. You can't see those darn pictures. I don't like it.
Other than that, I probably would just say my usual: stay creative, stick with it, don't give up.
And mine is, remember, your 1,000 words does make a difference. Cheers, everyone.
Ciao.
Thanks.